About the great and horrible AI content dump of 2023. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of Index Card Insights. This is episode 87 on this fine Tuesday evening. And thank you, first and foremost, for being here with me. I appreciate you. If you want to learn more about me and my business, Epic Conversions, be sure to check out epicconversions.com. What do I do? I'm in digital publishing. And the big thing that I do at Epic Conversions is I sell newsletters. I sell 14 to 15 to 16 email newsletters, and I sell those with a license, right? So you get a license when you buy them off of me. What's the difference between the newsletters that I write and the newsletters and the emails that you can have ChatGPT write for you? It's very simple. Mine actually work, and you make sales and conversions with them. Uh, that's the basic difference. Mine work. Um, Anyways, let's talk about the great and horrible AI content dump of 2023. That's what I want to get into now. All right. Um, so in November of 2022, and you guys have heard me talk about Chat GPT before and AI before. This is not the first time I've talked about that on this Index Card Insights show, but I'm going to talk about it again because it's like nuts. Um, in 2022, ChatGPT dropped, right? And it was already getting kind of wild in 2022 with all the AI generated artwork that was out there and all the stuff people were doing with AI. But when ChatGPT dropped, it took everything to a whole nother level, right? And as a result, 2023 has just gotten crazier and crazier with the kind of content that people are putting out. It is like just some of the like worst content known to man, in my opinion. Um, and like it's one thing for me to sit here and explain to you why it's bad. Um, but I'm gonna give you some insights on this whole thing. It's hard to get it out. It's hard to just like the thing about it is, I think that one day, and I love the people who are making this software out there, and I love the people who are, in the corner of Chat GPT and in the corner of AI, and I get it. I get it. Here's the thing. The perception is that this is a very powerful thing. And it's a really cool tool. AI is very cool. It's made a lot of leaps and bounds right now. But people want it to be good, right? People want it to be good because it makes their life easier, right? So it doesn't really matter how many times I talk about the negative aspects of Chat GPT or the negative aspects of AI, some of the problems I'm seeing with it. It doesn't matter how many times I talk about that. People aren't going to want to listen to me because they want it to be good. They want it to be good because it makes their life easier, right? Especially in the internet marketing industry. I mean, this is a place where people have always wanted easy. People have always wanted simple, fast, easy money. So, it doesn't really matter. Like, I feel like I'm kind of just like preaching to the choir a little bit, but I'm going to keep on preaching it because I think it's important. So, let me give you three insights on, you know, this like great content dump that I'm seeing in 2023 here. Email written by AI, Facebook posts written by AI, blog posts written by AI, just like you name it, Twitter posts written by AI, content, full blown special reports written by AI that have like little to no value whatsoever. You know why they have little to no value? They have little to no value because they're not saying anything new. They're just repeating some stuff that's already been said. It's very vanilla, it's very basic, and sometimes, and this is like the dirty little secret that no one seems to want to talk about, sometimes it's just wrong, right? Sometimes it's just wrong. I was talking to a software developer just today, earlier today, And I'm not going to name any names or anything like that, but they're putting software out, it's going to write books and everything like this with AI, API, ChatGPT on the back end, and some other AIs on the back end as well. And I said, what are you going to do about what are you going to do about the confidently wrong effect? you know, and I'm not going to go into what we talked about. I'm not going to go into that, but I will say that, they didn't have an answer for it. The answer is, we're just going to warn people that they have to fact check everything, right? That's basically the answer. That's OpenAI's answer, is that you have to fact check everything, and that's their answer. You have to fact check everything, right? But like if you're selling someone a piece of software that's just going to write them an ebook, and all they have to do is type in a keyword, they're going to be writing ebooks about stuff they're not experts in. They're going to be writing ebooks about things that they don't know anything about. So, like, they're not going to fact check, the ChatGPT or the software or whatever. They're not going to fact check that stuff. It's going to look right because AI is confidently wrong. It's going to look right, so they're going to use the software. They're going to compile the ebooks. They're going to put it out there. And that's the kind of stuff that's happening right now. You got content going out there that's just confidently wrong. You got content that's going out there that is like some of the worst, most vanilla, basic content I've ever seen in my life. Just because people are lazy, and that's it, right? So I want to give you 3 insights. I want to give you here. We're gonna do it like this: 3 insights on the great and horrible content dump, AI content dump of 2023, because I've never seen anything like it. It's like insane. I should be really happy because like it's gonna make my content stand out so much better, right? Because people are so lazy and stupid to be putting content out like this. I should be happy, but I'm not happy. It just kind of makes me sad. So, anyways, yeah, let me give you 3 insights on it. All right. Number 1, people can tell. Okay, if you're using like ChatGPT to like tell stories and stuff, like unless you like know what you're doing and know how to edit it and make it look like it was written by a human, people can tell. Man, I just found one on Facebook today. It was quite obvious. And it's not like I'm some kind of like content detecting wizard or something, right? It's just because I've happened to work with ChatGPT for the last few months. And I think a lot of people have been working with AI for the last few months. A lot of people have been, curious about what its capabilities are, and they've all been exploring it. So if I can spot it, then everybody else can spot it too, right? But it doesn't really matter whether people can spot that your content was written by AI or not. Because at the end of the day, what they will be able to spot is that your content doesn't say anything. It doesn't mean anything. There's no point to it, right? If the point is something that's already been said before, if it's not saying anything new, then it doesn't create impact, right? And good content creates impact, right? ChatGPT can't do that for you. AI can't do that for you. You have to find a way to resonate with people and create impact with them, right? This software, these tools, they can make your life easier, but they can't get you results because people buy from people, right? And you have to find a way to resonate with them, right? I read a story today that was clearly written by AI, and the story like meant nothing. It didn't mean anything. It went nowhere. It was just like a story that didn't even barely make sense. It's like, what is this? Why would someone put this out here? They put it out because it's easy and it sounds good. It passes the eyeball test. You got to go past the first layer, guys. You know, content is like ogres from Shrek. You know what I'm saying? You know what Shrek says? Ogres are like onions, all right? There's layers to content, okay? Just because a piece of content passes the eyeball test, it's not going to pass the audience test, right? It needs to mean something. It needs to help them in some way. It actually needs to like get their attention, right? It makes a difference. It's unbelievable. People are just so lazy. and they're so interested in doing something quick and fast and easy that they don't even realize that like everyone else is doing the same crap, and it all sounds the same, and it's stupid, right? It's so dumb. Um, my second insight, all right, it's confidently wrong, right? This is a big one, okay? This is a really big one, all right? When ChatGPT first kind of came out, I was thinking that like it might be cool to do like a $1 book club where like I did like a membership and I did book summaries, right? I thought I can use ChatGPT to summarize books, and I can do these really cool book summaries from like a marketing perspective. And I would include things in the book summary that marketers could use, like angles to use in their email marketing and stuff based on things that happen in the book, right? But in order for me to put this together, I need to make sure the book summaries and stuff like that ChatGPT could come up with were good, right? So I personally have read a lot of books. I have to tell you, it just kind of comes with the territory. I read a lot of books because of the work that I do. I read a lot. So I started putting ChatGPT to the test. Can it do a book summary on this? Can it do a book summary on that? And a lot of times it did pretty good, but sometimes it was completely wrong. Sometimes it would do a book summary from the author, but like it would be from a different book by the author, or sometimes it would mix plot lines of the books, right? It would be weird, right? It'd do weird stuff sometimes, but it sounded good. It sounded really good. And if you know what, if I hadn't read those books, I wouldn't know any difference. I would not know any difference, man. It passed the eyeball test. I just roll with it. But the thing is, ChatGPT and all these other AIs, they just make stuff up sometimes. They are wrong lots of times. You cannot trust them to be right. So if you're having these AIs write you special reports about subjects that you are not knowledgeable on, there's a very good chance it's going to get something wrong, and it's just going to be blatantly wrong and not right. And if you trust it to be right, and then you edit that stuff, you just send that stuff out there and publish it, what's going to happen is that's going to make you look bad, right? You're going to be the one putting out that crappy information that has no impact, is very vanilla, and sometimes it's just blatantly wrong, right? It's going to affect your credibility. You're the one who people are going to be looking at, not ChatGPT, not whatever janky ass software that you bought from somebody that's promising you the world and not really delivering anything. You're the one who's going to pay the price, man. It's your credibility that's going to suffer. So just keep that in mind. Pardon my French. But yeah, it's confidently wrong. All right. It's not always right. Who's going to decide? Who's going to be the one to figure out if it's right or not? Right. When I was having to do those book summaries for me, 5 or 6 of them would be perfectly right. Then all of a sudden we'd hit one where it missed the plot. Like the plot would be wrong. It wouldn't be right. Like that wouldn't have been the main. Like it sounded good what it was saying, but I read the book. I know that wasn't the whole thing. I know that wasn't the point, right? And I knew it because I read it. But if I hadn't read it, if I was faking it and I was just trusting, the AI to give me a good summary for a book that I haven't even read, then I just roll with it and it would be wrong. I questioned ChatGPT about this and I said, ChatGPT, do you read whole entire books? Or do you just like have like snippets and tidbits from the books? And it told me it doesn't, in its data set, it doesn't have entire books in its data set. It has snippets and summaries and like points of the books in its data set, right? It doesn't even have whole books in its data set. It doesn't even read whole books. So it's based on a data set. It's a limited data set. I know it's vast, but it's still limited. And I'm just telling you, it can be confidently wrong plenty of times. I don't care if you got the paid version or the free version. It's ChatGPT 4 or ChatGPT 3.5. It doesn't matter. It can be confidently wrong plenty of times. And if you don't know, if you are not knowledgeable on the subject you're asking it to write about, you, my friend, are going to pay the price, not ChatGPT, not the AI. You are going to pay the price. It's going to come back on you, especially when you're selling stuff. All right. The third thing, 3 insights. This is number 3. The third insight. The content the AI creates is not currently copyrightable. All right. You can look this up for yourself. Don't take my word for it. It's not copyrightable. All right. Unless you heavily modify it yourself. A human has to heavily modify it to the point where the AI's influence on the writing is trivial or minute. Those are words from the Copyright Office, right? You can't register a copyright with content that was written by an AI, right? It's not copyrightable. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means when you have AI write you a special report or a sales page or some other thing, it's not an intellectual property. You do not own it or control it. Someone else can take it and do whatever they want with it. No big deal. It's not copyrightable. So let me give you those 3 insights again, okay? And I do feel like I'm kind of preaching to the deaf, because I don't think people really care what I have to say, because they want to like ChatGPT, they want to like AI, they want it to be awesome, and they're willing to forgive its flaws, right? They're willing to forgive its flaws because they love it. It's like an NFL football team when they're winning. Like, it seems like there's no problem. Like, mum's the word when they're winning. As soon as the NFL team starts losing, all of a sudden, all these problems start happening. This guy's getting, arrested for like domestic dispute. This guy's having problems with, whatever. There's all these problems that start coming out of the woodwork when teams are losing. But when they're winning, it's like mum's the word. It's no problem. I think it's similar for ChatGPT. I think it's similar for AI. People don't want to hear about the negative stuff. They want it to be awesome. So they're gonna like overlook a lot of the negative stuff. But let me give you these 3 insights again. All right. Number 1, people can tell. If you're using AI to do your content all the time, people can tell. It's pretty obvious. Number 2, okay, this stuff can be confidently wrong, and it can be confidently wrong more often than you think it would be. And number 3, guys, it's not copyrightable. The content is not copyrightable. These are things that are ongoing in Congress right now, but they have just came out with new rules and guidelines in the Copyright Office just like a couple weeks ago, saying basically, you can't copyright AI written material. So that's all I got, guys. If you enjoyed this Index Card Insights episode, be sure to check out epicconversions.com. I got a group call we do every single week, ECIC group calls. Man, we go deep. We go deep on strategy. We go deep on tips, tricks, tactics. I do a topic every single week on group calls. Check it out. That's at epicconversions.com. Also, I got a free special report for you from 0 to 112. From 0 to 12:44:86, 96 hours. Brand new special report. Get it for free over at epicconversions.com. I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all I got. See you tomorrow for another episode of Index Card Insights. Peace, guys.